Hey, what's up everybody? It's Murder Inc. and today I would like to talk about Siphi the Lost Bride. She is the pair to Rotos, another new champion that was recently released. And I think she is a very strong champion. She's from the Undead factions. She is a support legendary, so let's get right into her skills. On our A1, we have attacks one enemy, has an 80% chance of placing a sleep debuff for one turn if the target's turn meter is equal to or above 50%. This debuff cannot be resisted. So already off the bat, we don't need accuracy for this sleep debuff if it meets the criteria of the turn meter being equal to or above 50%, which is fantastic. Heals all allies by 5% of their max health if the target's turn meter is below 50%. So not a huge heal, but for an A1, you really can't complain that much. The A2 is Whirlwind Romance. Fills the turn meters of all allies by 15% and places a block debuffs, a 60% increased defense, and a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Fully booked goes down to a 3-turn cooldown. This is gigantic. She has become, just based off the A1 and A2 alone, she is the equivalent of Dracomorph as a support champion. She's going to be really hard to top. So let's just keep going and see what else she has to offer. We have the A3, which is called Love Beyond Death. Revives a single ally with 55% HP and a full turn meter. Places a 50% increased attack buff and a 30% increased crit rate buff on that ally for 2 turns. This is a 4-turn cooldown. Another great skill. She just keeps one-upping herself. Fantastic champion. Now let's go and look at the passive, because as some of you do know, maybe you haven't seen it, I suggest watching it. I did a Rotos to Lost Groom video. Very strong champion. So now let's see her passive, and as we can see, there's a partner bonus here. So let's get into it. It's called Eternal Bond. Heals each ally by 15% of their max health at the start of the turn. Has a 40% chance of removing freeze and fear debuffs from each ally at the start of their turn. Removes all debuffs from Rotos the Lost Groom at the start of their turn if they're on the same team. What more can you ask for a Void legendary? She is almost in her own league of champion in this game. A little bit broken. Possibly she's a support champion, so you really have to build a good team around her for her to shine. So I don't think they went too far. I think this is an outstanding kit. I really have no complaints at any part of this kit, which is rare. Usually there's 1 or 2 things that could be a little bit better, could be a little bit worse, but I think this is all really good. Now the aura increases ally resistance in all battles by 80%. So maybe a resistance team, now you have a new leader to use in arena, so on and so forth. So let's go to artifacts. Pretty much you can build her, I would suggest building her like an arbiter, because she kind of fits the arbiter role. I believe she does arbiter's job better than arbiter personally, and you can make your own evaluation based on the information I just gave you. So these are the stats she's working with now. Obviously her gear isn't fully upgraded, but I think this is a fantastic basic guideline to follow. 55,000 health, 3,000 defense, 289 speed, basically as much speed as you can get. Crit rate 33%, doesn't really matter for a champion like this. Crit damage 97%. Also another set that doesn't matter a lot. Resistance and accuracy. Like we said, we don't need accuracy. So 114 base speed, something to look at, very high. 21,000 health, fantastic. 1,200 defense, also fantastic for support champion. So she is, I really don't like doing a tier list for champions, but if I do, I would say she's one of the better legendaries that this game currently has right now. And let's jump right into masteries. So for masteries, we have, it's viable anywhere, more geared towards dungeons since we gave her War Master, so it's a pretty typical build. So we have War Master on the bottom, kill streak, methodical, bring it down. That should be all that my camera is covering at this point. This side we have lasting gifts, in a straight line merciful aid, healing savior, rapid response, and finally lore of steel. So now, the moment we've all been waiting for, let's see Siphi the Lost Bride in action. Now, I did set this up so I would have Siphi and Rhodos in at the same time so we could really see how they interact with each other. So let's first start off by going into Arena. Alright guys, we made it to the arena, now let's see what she can do. First we're going to start with Arbiter, turn meter boosting up. We're going to do the A2, which is the Swiss Army knife block debuff, increase defense and increase speed. Now as you can see there, it was cleansed by her passive. Or it was the passive? Yeah, I think it's the passive with the percent chance to clean the freeze, so really strong right off the bat. At the provoke, now we all know what Rhodos does. If you don't, you're about to see. Totally should have used that on... I'm kind of inting in this video, that's fine. I should have used that on Tormin. So now she goes again because she's very, very fast. So let's try to put Tormin asleep. Didn't proc, no worries. Turn meter boost again. See, this is the benefit of having a really, really quick team. They're just going non-stop back and forth. We got extra turn proc. Now let's finish it off with our great friend Rhodos the Lost Groom. Let's take a look at it again with another team here. Turn meter boost up, CU gets frozen. Do the A2. Provoke everybody. There's that cleanse we were talking about from the partner bonus. This time we will take out... Let's take out... Usually I would go for Skull Crown here, but I really want to see her buffs being used. The defense up. Take out Tormin with Rhodos. Straight into Valk. Let's turn meter boost again to see if she goes again. Awesome. Let's try to put Skull Crown asleep here. Beautiful. Now we'll hit Seeker because we don't want to wake up Skull Crown. And she just got her turn nullified. Awesome. Awesome to see. Really strong champion. I'll say that 1,000 times in this video. I guarantee it. Now let's jump into our first dungeon where we will do Dragon's Lair. So everything's good. We got the double speed buff, making this run very, very quick. Double Royal Guard, really good for clearing waves. So now we just basically want the 2 turn meter boosters between Arbiter and Siphi just to cycle through to make sure everyone gets their cooldowns back up without having a Kymar, without having a Painkeeper, without needing to wear reflex gear. So that's very, very strong, especially if they can be built fast enough. So we're taking a bit of a beating. Now we have a double revive on the team. Do we need both of them? Probably not. I just chose to rain it in this video because it's a bit quicker that way. Draco doing Draco things. There's the first takedown. So we're looking at a very, very quick time right now. Granted, we're using a Draco morph, but this is a really good comp. 97,000 damage. She's not a damage dealer. She's a huge utility dealer. She did the healing. She has the revive. Her and Arbiter is definitely overkill in this comp, but I really just wanted to show and let you guys see as viewers what she can do. Now let's take it to a more difficult dungeon. I know a lot of people struggle with it. Let's go straight into the Ice Golem. Now for this dungeon, I chose to pair Rhodos and Siphi together. I had a lot of people comment in the last video saying, how can he do an Ice Golem? He does have to block revive. My personal thoughts on it are, it's one skill that blocks revive and it has to guarantee to kill the target, so it's a bit too RNG for me to say he is your go-to guy for Ice Golem. Obviously blue is strong affinity and he is blue, so if it works out perfect, to be safe you might have to speed tune for it, and it's definitely a viable option if you have a good arena champion. If you don't, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would just do what I'm doing, hit start, let it play on auto, and just watch as things go forward. Right now we have the double turn meter boost, we have the initial takedown. Rhodos just slapping people, stealing health, which I really want you to notice. Rhodos stealing health. It's going to be really important going to the boss to see how much he can actually accumulate. As you can see here, it resets per wave, so it would be a bit too overpowered if it didn't. See where they came from, and I'm glad they did that. They at least have, besides the absurd damage, they did some sort of balancing. Like we just saw 237k from Rhodos. So right now she's doing everything you could want from a support character. She's giving the small heals. She has a chance to CC them on the A1. Defense up, block debuff, speed buff. She has a revive. Really, really fun to watch. So Rhodos did not elect to use his A3 there, so that minion will be reviving. That one won't revive, so that was very good to see. We can just look right here as Rhodos' health just stacks up over and over again. We lost someone there, we got the resurrection. Beautiful. Double resurrection with Arbiter, I think that's very strong. So here you have it, a minute and 21 seconds on the Ice Golem. She did a bit more damage here, did the healing. Honestly, what more could you want from a champion like Siphi, the Lost Bride? Now let's take a look at the value to booking. So buff debuff chance increased by 5, 10, 15, 20%. So 100% chance to sleep and nothing else changes. So this is safe to say you don't have to book. If you really, really want to put your target to sleep and you're counting on that in arena and dungeons, absolutely go for the books. Is it needed? I don't think so. A2, increase the cooldown by 2. I think this is huge quality of life increase if you can afford the books. If there's any champion who would be worth spending books on, this is absolutely a champion, especially for this A2 here. The more she can use it, the better your team will do in any content. Love Beyond Death, another situation where it reduces the cooldown by 2 turns, making it a 4-turn cooldown for resurrection. Really strong. The more frequent you can resurrect someone, the better your success chances going forward. And lastly, the passive heals each ally by 15%, 40% chance of removing freeze and fear debuffs from the ally. This increases that by 10%, so we have a 50% chance of removing, and the heal stays the same on that. So as far as the passive goes, I think it falls into the same category as the A1. Is it really needed? No. So if you get lucky, like a lot of champions where you can fully book the A2 and the A3, personally, I think you're done. I think everything else is just a small added bonus. If you want to fully book it, by all means, it's your account, your character, and congratulations on pulling the champion, but that's what I would do personally. And what is her value in Clan Boss? Now, she isn't going to be ideal for a counterattack team. However, speed teams are resurfacing a lot more common than they used to, so I think that she would fit perfectly in a team like that. You're not using a counterattack, you have all of the cooldowns you need. Now you're adding someone with a block debuff, increased defense, and another speed boost on top of the turn meter boost. So block debuff obviously negates the stun from a slam, which can be gigantic if it's on someone like Siphi, if it's on someone like Alton, if it's on Draco, a poisoner, anyone you have. Slam can be detrimental to your key, so she offers a lot of value there. Obviously, going forward and thinking back, she revives an enemy with a full turn meter. That is gigantic. If you lost someone very significant to your team, she revives them with a full turn meter, so they will go. Alright guys, that's it today for my video on Siphi the Lost Bride. I was really excited to share this champion. Another huge thank you for all the support you guys have given me. I see what you're saying. You want more guides. You love how frequently I'm doing it. I'm going to do my best to keep pushing content out for you. The more people I can reach, the more work I can put in for you. I'd love to do this full time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Spread the word, give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I have a lot more really cool things planned to release. And until next time.